Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all. 8-7-10.
Welcome to Club 120. The ultimate roundtable for diehard Cubs fans and lovers of all things sports and lifestyle.
Strike three, you're out.
Hosted by Neil and Nate, two former baseball players and coaches turned loud mouths with strong opinions and even stronger banner. Get ready for quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and the occasional heated debate. From analyzing Cubs on-field action to diving into off-field drama, no topic is off limits. So grab your glove, pour a drink, and pull up a seat at Club 120, where the banner's quick, the takes are hot, and the Cubs always come first. Let's get started.
Play ball.
Hello, Cubs friends. It's 120. You know what that means. It's time to grab an old style and a bleacher seat. You're in Club 120. Let's talk Cubs. I'm Nate, and with me as always is a man who needs no invitation to any boat party on his off days. Neil, what's on today's lineup card, Coach?
Oh, man, that boat party looked like a blast, and it might have been a reset for the offense. I like it. I like it a lot. But no, hey, as always, a big shout out to all you tuning in, whether you're walking the dog, stuck in traffic, or just pretending to be at work today. We're glad you're hanging out with us here in Club 120. We got a packed show. Bullpen arms are throwing fire. Who's an all-star? Who's not? Amaya's almost back. What do we do with our catchers? Plus, do we need more power in the lineup? And do you trust Jed to get things done at the all-star break? And we'll play a little what's better with individual accomplishments, and then wrap up our topic of the week. How big can this stretch be heading into the all-star break? Let's get started, man, with a group that's been dealing all season long. Nate, what's your thoughts on the bullpen, man?
And a lot of donuts down there. A lot of donuts being thrown around. So I believe that the Cubs should have an all-star representative from the bullpen. I don't think enough's being said about it. And if you look at it, the names that I'm going to throw out, only one was with us last year, Danny P. Okay. Caleb Thielbar, Drew Pomerantz, Chris Flexen, Brad Keller, all boast a 2 or better ERA in 20 or more innings pitched so far. One of them's got to go. So if you had a vote, who would be your vote right now?
Man, that's tough. Thielbar, Palencia, Keller. I think for me, it's Palencia or Pomerantz, because Pomerantz has done so much, right? Like he's been an opener. He's thrown in the ninth. He's thrown in the middle. He's thrown in the 6th and 7th. He's been a long guy, and he's been a one-inning guy. So to me, I'm going to give the nod probably closer to Pomerantz, just because of the versatility that he's shown so far and how we've been able to kind of wedge him in any spot.
Okay, I love it. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these guys. My vote goes to Keller. And the reason is because I think he's patient zero in pitch lab. And as a minor league invitee to spring training, he is now our stopper. 5th inning, 6th inning, 7th inning, 9th inning, whenever it is that Craig wants to use the hammer, it's Brad Keller. And if the rest of this wasn't working, or I'm sorry, if he didn't work out, Drew Pomerantz wouldn't be here. Chris Flexen wouldn't be here. Any of the guys in pitch lab currently, Kenta Maeda, any of those guys, the project would have been treated much differently if Brad Keller did not win a 26-man spot right out of spring training. So I think he's earned it, and I think, give him some flowers and some roses and send him to Atlanta, and let's go, man, because they've been balling, and I love it.
Yeah, no, the group has been absolutely nails, right? Like, I think early in the season, we were like, what are we doing with the bullpen? What's going to happen? But I mean, since then, they have been absolute nails. And I think if you would have told me that halfway through April, I'd have been like, you're nuts.
Yep.
But these guys have been, I mean, they've been absolutely dominating. And, it's kind of fun watching a baseball game now. You watch a Cubs game and you're like, I'm really starting to pay attention to pitch counts on the opposing roster, because, man, I can't wait to get into somebody else's bullpen.
Right.
And then we get to our bullpen. I'm like, you guys are toast. Like, but yeah, I like it. I like that. I like Keller. I mean, Keller's been Keller, I mean, you know how I feel. I mean, he's an absolute dog. Hashtag Nate's dog pound. But I think all these guys are in the dog pound, man. Like, I mean, all these guys are absolutely dealing.
It's quite rowdy out there right now, and it's exciting to see that, especially, you know, when you tap it off with 102
Right.
in a safe situation. Like, that was not even fair. Like, you could just hear it. I was listening to it on the radio, actually, and it just sounded unfair.
Yeah.
And that's a really good spot to be when your bullpen is an unfair advantage, just throwing hammers at dudes. And that's a fantastic place to be. Now, we do have a weird spot to be. The catching situation with the Cubs is about to get a little crowded, and that's a lot of C's. So we have a catching conundrum in Chicago. Keep it going.
Yes.
And, but is it a real problem at the end of the day?
I mean, I don't think we're keeping 3. I really don't. I mean, I personally, I think McGuire is the one that goes when Miguel comes back. I do, you know, I don't know what I'm hearing. I think is basically after the All-Star break that he'll be back with the team. I don't know if that means back with the or at the end of the All-Star break, he's going to go, you know, spend a week in Iowa. But from what I gather, he's already tracking pitches and all that stuff in Arizona. So I don't know how much of that he'll need, but I don't think they're going to realistically carry 3 catchers.
It's been quite a bright spot. I mean, the catching collective as a whole has 18 home runs, 62 RBIs, 830 OPS. You take Cal Raleigh out, that's the best catcher in the big leagues.
Yeah.
So I know defensively, there's, you know, some things to be wanted at times, but that's any catcher in 100-degree heat and going through a long summer. So I can't complain with whatever roster move they're going to do. I hope that it continues to just be a weapon, because it's weird whenever those guys don't hit. It's like, man, our catchers aren't really hitting today. And that's a weird thing to say, but they've built themselves into an offensive piece that needs to be relied on, and they've stepped up for it. And that's great.
Yeah. I mean, our catchers, you know, we've tweeted a couple times, like, our catchers bang, man. Like, they absolutely are doing their job offensively, and it's fun. It's fun to see the production. And when Miguel Amaya went down, and then they call up McGuire, and it's like, oh man, this, and then he's first at bat hits a home run, and you're just like, okay, all right, something's in the water down there behind home plate. So, man, I love it. I love it. I love the problem. And I would be honest with you, I would welcome it at more positions. Like, let's have some problems where we got to figure out who can play and who can't.
Well, speaking of who can play and who can't, do the Cubs need more power this year?
You know, we kind of hinted at this last week. Like, I don't know, man. It's a sticky situation because everything swivels on the hot corner, right? Like, really, the only spot you put him is Matt Shaw. Like,
It's kind of how the roster is constructed, isn't it? It's like we've got a lot of guys that are out of options in some spaces, and we've got a roster that's pretty much one position deep at most spots. I think, honestly, I'm going to be really annoying here, but technically the answer is shortstop. That's where we could fit another bat.
But that's not going to happen. So,
because if I'm spending $177 million, I would like some more productive production. But you're right. It pivots on third base because it's easiest to pick on. Matt Shaw has ability and options and time. But we don't, right? Like, we as a Cubs team this year don't. For whatever reason it is, we just don't have that time. What is a possible solution here, though? I mean, what kind of collateral are you willing to give up, considering you do have a technical long-term solution at third base?
Well, again, this all, you know, this is I don't envy Jed's job at all. Like, this is a tough spot because while we are prospect heavy and we do have these prospects in minor and down in the minors, but like, if you sign Kyle Tucker, do we need to keep Owen Casey? If
you don't, But if you don't,
right? Yeah, no, absolutely. That's why it's like, you know, the chicken or the egg, right? The cart or the horse. Like,
it's
really, we need to get this Kyle Tucker thing figured out, right? But before we figure out what kind of prospect leverage we have, because scary. The last thing you want to do is deal all these prospects for right now, and then Kyle Tucker walks.
Sure. Well, any position right now. The Cubs have one guy signed past 26. His name is Dansby. That's it. So outside of options and arbitration where Tom's going to keep those cheap guys, but I mean, let's be honest, starting position players and pitchers, one guy. So it is scary for Jed. I wouldn't envy him at all. Like, what do I do? Do I trade Owen Casey? Do I, Triantos? What's he worth? I mean, we have an extreme value. Obviously, you overvalue your own prospects in your own house. But you kind of have to because you're planning for the future. Like, right. I'm betting on this kid because if a guy like Nico goes down in a Achilles tear randomly for a 12 to 15 months, who's playing second base, right? Like, do we make a call? Do we move a guy? There's a lot of random things that Jed has to deal with. And the biggest problem that he has is Tom's wallet.
Right.
It's the biggest problem that he doesn't have a problem evaluating talent. He doesn't have a problem moving talent. He doesn't have a problem sending a prospect down to the minors because he's not doing it right.
No, 100%.
But he does have a problem with whether he has a commitment beyond 2026.
Yeah. No, yeah. And that's why it's such a, you and I have kind of been leading the charge of extend Jed, right? But this is going to lead right into our next topic here. And, do you trust Jed? Do you trust, because there is nobody long-term on this roster outside of Dansby. So do you trust that Jed, let's not address the trade deadline here. Do you trust Jed to get Kyle Tucker long-term?
Man. Well, I trust Jed. If we're flipping the page here, I trust Jed more this year than I ever did. Last year, I would have shipped him along with anybody else to go with him. He could have gone with Hector Neris for all I cared.
Mm-hmm.
But to sit here and watch him say exactly what he did in his exit interview last year, what he wanted to do in the offseason, and then proceed to just go execute it. And then, as you say, do it under budget. I'm listening. I'm buying what he's got to say. Brad Keller, huge question mark. Why are we getting Drew Pomerantz back? Huge question mark, right? Like he's been doing questionable activities all year long.
But they're working.
And now they're working.
Right.
So at this point, I do have trust in Jed. It's been a long road. It's been frustrating the last couple of seasons to have the teams that we've thought we've had and do the things that we did on the field. But the plan that he's got right now, I think, has more behind it than it's ever had. Pitch lab and the minds in the room are getting better.
Okay, so I have two questions for you in regards to Jed and Jed We Trust.
Okay.
So patience has paid off in
Yes.
a lot of areas where, like you were talking about with the bullpen and signing these guys, and why are we signing this, this other team's trash? Why do we keep taking other team's trash? Well, it's worked out for us. So patience has paid off there. So now we give Jed a little bit of leash. And are we in such a good spot above 500, leading the division? Are we in such a good spot that we risk standing still at the deadline?
I had this as a question on my paper. I swear. What if the Cubs don't do anything?
Yeah.
Man, the only reason he wouldn't do anything, actually, you know what? There's no reason he wouldn't do anything. He sells when we're buying. So Jed's going to do something. It's not about whether they do something or not. It's whether they do something that we like or not, right? Let's be honest. That's a personal question.
Sure.
Did Jed do enough that I like? He's not afraid. They can't stand pat. You gotta buy, you gotta sell. I can see him moving a piece just because it's a bad fit and we didn't even know it. And it could be at the minor league level. It'd be like, man, we really like that kid. He wasn't a good fit. The AAA manager said he's just a knucklehead or something like that. We don't know what the background stories are. If he stands pat, I'd scream because I don't think we have the team that can make it through 3 series. We might be able to make a short series, but I don't think we can go through 2 long series with this roster. So I would like to see him do some shifting. He's done some shifting in the past. He addressed cheap pitching with the pitch lab. He addressed the bench early on with a need because we didn't know whether Nico was going to be ready or not. So he had Birdie and Brujan available. He's done well with the youth. he's got a good pulse. He's got his finger on the pulse, and it's a good one. He's running rich right now with his moves. I'd like to see him get super aggressive here. I'd like to see him spend some capital, either cash or prospects, to get this team in a position where it is actually an all-in.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I kind of jotted down that, like, the question is, do you trust Jed Hoyer's vision in 2025 for this team? And I just jotted down, like, I'm not ready to trust fall, but he hasn't dropped me yet either, So
Sure.
like, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if you told me 3 weeks from now that we made 0 moves at the deadline, I don't know that I'd be shocked. I would be not happy, but at the same time, if you'd have told me in April that we were going to be sitting here recording this today, 15 games above 500, I would have thought there's no chance. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So I can't say that I don't trust him, because I have been there. I didn't trust him, and look where we are. So now it's kind of like I do. I think I just have to shut up and see what moves he makes and hope it pans out.
I believe that, he could throw a lot of things on the wall, and I'll believe him right now. There's some rumors flying around, and I'm trying to be calm about it, honestly, because I don't love him, but we do have to love what he's done so far. So let's trust that a few names are going to be floated out there. And if he gives any credence to them, then there might be some fire there worth playing with.
Like I said, I'm not ready to trust fall, but here I am in Jed I trust. So we'll see what he does. All right, moving on. What's better? Individual accomplishments. What do you got?
Well, baseball's such an individual game. Guys are going to start chasing some things, but let's play a game called What's Better for the Cubs? Not just for the guy, right? But let's say what would be better for the Cubs this year. I'll give you just 3 quick scenarios. Keep it light and simple here. Ready? Nico hitting 300, or Dansby hits 25 or more home runs.
I'll take Nico hitting 300.
Okay.
Well, that depends. Are we batting Nico in the 8 hole, or are we going to allow Nico to sneak up in the lineup to maybe bat, 5th or 6th where he should be? I
don't know. I mean, that's
I'll take Nico batting.
I knew this was I wanted to lead off with this one because I knew where this could go.
Yeah, that's my problem with Nico is I mean, my problem is not with Nico at all. Nico is absolutely better than where he's hitting in the lineup, and that's frustrating to me. But again, I'm not managing the team, and I'm not 15 games above 500. They are. So, I can't complain too much, but it does frustrate me to not see Nico in the 5 spot and see Dansby in the 5 spot over and over and over again. And, I guess until it bites us, we're just got to live with it.
It's going to be an interesting way to see it. You're right. Nico does not deserve the treatment he's getting at the bottom end of the lineup, especially for the production that he's doing. Extending innings, flipping the lineup over, doing all the things that you want that guy to do. But also, he's a veteran at this point. He has the ability to drive those runs in, and our offensive production is wavered at times. And I think that consistency that Nico brings is absolutely better for the Cubs than Dansby hitting 25 home runs. All right, next one. PCA chasing 35 and 35, or maybe even a 40-40 season, or getting 16 or more wins from Matthew Boyd. What's more valuable to the Cubs? It's going to be electric to watch Pete do this in the second half, because I think he's just going to take this all-star break and just soak it all in with all those guys. He's going to get a private meeting with Ken Griffey Jr. again. It's going to be great, but I think wins are wins, and Pete does a lot to help with wins. That's not right. That's not wrong. But you look at a week like this week where Boyd's going to throw on Tuesday and Sunday in 2 separate series. He knocks a couple of those out of the park, which he already did on Tuesday. Man, that's unbelievable to watch him go. So yeah, give me more wins from Boyd. All right, one more here for you real quick.
Okay.
Andy Palencia, 20 or more saves, or 140 RBIs from Seiya.
Oh man. I like both of those, man. I guess I got to go with Palencia and the saves, because that's been a rough topic, the closer situation for quite some time. So I'm going to go with Palencia and the saves, just because it would be nice to just have a guy down there that you would know when that door swings open, he's going to get 3 outs. Absolutely.
It's great to see that. Like I said, we mentioned that before. They've talked about it, the way he's come so far mentally to be able to do this. To watch him perform at this level is fantastic. Seiya chasing 140 is awesome, and he might do it, but he's going to have some guys in front of him keep producing. But Valencia on his own, standing there in the ninth, is just a really cool experience right now, and I love watching it. It's a lot of fun.
All right, so let me ask you one. Let me flip this around a little bit on you. There's all kinds of individual accomplishments out there we haven't talked about. PCA Gold Glove, Shota, Cy Young, Matt Shaw, 15 homers, if he could get there. And it doesn't have to be one of those, but I want you to pick an accomplishment, an individual award, an individual accomplishment, Gold Glove, whatever. What individual accomplishment signals bigger things for the team and travels best in October?
Just in general, like which one of those would? Like,
yeah, which individual accomplishment is?
Oh man, give me a goal. Give me the defense.
Sure. Okay.
Give me the defense. Give me the Gold Glove. Give me the guys that extend range. They make a play. Because here's the thing: everybody can make routine plays. It's just the guys that are Gold Glovers make the hard plays the routine, and then those special plays come out, and that's where that stuff happens. Guys can do routine stuff all day long, but right now we've got a lot of guys that are doing some extra stuff, which makes it special. Yeah. And so would love to see that continue into October. Absolutely. Would love to see some big catches and some diving plays in October. We've got a lot of guys that do a lot of good things well on defense. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Our topic of the week is the All-Star game push with 4 series left before the All-Star break. What should the Cubs' mindset and goals be?
I think that it's just keep rowing the boat right now. I think it's win the dang series. How many we've gotten away from that a little bit, but I think we got to win the series. So if we have 4 series left, they're all 3 gamers. That's 12 games. We started with one last night, a good one. I think an 8-4 finish is something that puts them in a great spot. That puts them at 17 over at the break with a 4-game lead ish, I would say. Anything you could get me at 7-5, honestly, because I know that there's going to be some stuff there. I haven't seen how it lines up, but we could see a potential trade target that we've gotten, like Joe Ryan out there in Minnesota. You get Rodon in New York. You never know what New York's going to bring on a summer afternoon right before the All-Star break, quite honestly, with a bunch of guys checked out and vacation plans and all that stuff. So give me a 7-5, 8-4 next couple weeks for us.
So okay. So that was my next question: is what do you think a realistic win total out of the 12 games left? And you say 8-4 out of those 12.
Yeah, 7-5, 8-4 right there. I haven't seen all the matchups and how they're going to go. I love the way this week's rolling out. When you got Boyd and Shota and Horton, you got a real good chance to run the table at Cleveland here if Shota does his deal tonight and Horton just feeds off of that momentum. Then it's up to Craig to get creative in St. Louis. I think he will. I think we're going to see some things used here in St. Louis. I'd love to see that, and then we'll see how the pitching goes on the road. But a really good homestand is not out of the question here for the Cubs to make some hay. But I still will. I'll say 7-5, 8-4. Yes.
Yeah. No. I'm half tempted to not even speak on this because the last time we had a topic similar to this, and we decided that we could go out and really make a statement in the National League Central by dominating these next 2 series. We absolutely laid a dog turd. So I really am hesitant to even say that. Yeah, I think this is a good 4 series stretch here, but I do think it is a 4 series stretch to make a statement, or at least show the rest of the league that this team's for real. This team's at the break. We're 17 games up. Blah blah blah. I think that sends a message. But I how I feel about the All-Star break. We've talked about this before. And you saw just what the reset. They had 1 day off, and 8 of these guys are out on a boat living it up. And then as a coach, you look at that and you think, oh, great. I can't wait for these guys to come in all sunburned tomorrow. And they absolutely came out and took care of business. So, I'm looking forward to the All-Star break for these guys to maybe get a little break, get it, to kind of relax and have a reset, just like they did with the off day. Yeah. Spend some time on the lake, and have a little fun, and then go back and dominate the second half.
Absolutely. As much as I would love to see 8 or 9 Cubs in Atlanta, I'm not going to watch the game. And B, I piggyback on what you said. The rest is way better than the rest of the week. The rest is what's needed. And so I would rather not have to worry about somebody's pitch count, so the Dodgers can absolutely have their weekend in Atlanta. Please do. Yeah. Keep voting, Dodger fans. Just keep going. Like double down, triple down. You can borrow my phone if you need it. You just send all the Dodgers, let them go. And we'll go have a nice little 4-day vacay. I tell you what, I got one more for you here before we cut out.
Yeah.
Will the Cubs make a trade before the All-Star game is?
I feel like they will. I feel like we're really close to that point right now. I feel like anytime I grab my phone and see the little MLB icon, that there's a notification, I think, oh, they might have made a move here. And as of late, most of the MLB notifications are because Shohei Ohtani went to the bathroom or, something All-Star related. But I do feel like we're right there knocking on the door of a move being made even 2 weeks prior to the All-Star game. What are your thoughts? What do you think? I
think we're close. You're right. I think there's more aggressiveness to some of these rumors, if you will. I think they are further along with Pirates in a couple of areas than we think. This team's been aggressive, and I don't even know if it's going to be for a name that we need just yet. I could see them doing another Drew P type of deal where they've got their eye on somebody that they're going to just do cash considerations for.
Right.
We're like, why would we do that? Why would we make a trade like that? We're going for a splash, but don't mind the underlining deals. But yes, I do believe that the Cubs will make a trade before the end of the All-Star game.
No, and what I love too is I love that they're. I feel like the ego is not in the way. Like I feel like when they do make a trade for someone, if it doesn't work out, it's a DFA. Like, we just saw that with was it Cabrera? We signed in the bullpen. Threw a couple outings, and it was like, yeah, not working out.
Yep.
So I like it. I like that we're quick to make the move, but also quick to cut ties.
It's gonna be a fun couple weeks here of baseball. Looking forward to it. Obviously, we're over the halfway point, but obviously the All-Star game is always just such a kind of midpoint, if you will. But man, that's going to be quite a sprint when we get back from that All-Star break. So we're looking forward to what Jed's got in store for us. Looking forward to a little showtime tonight on Wednesday. And just love the vibe that this team has. Again, they feel whole. It feels almost like we came out of spring training. That off day was like a come out of spring training off day. And like, man, these kids were ready to have fun again and play baseball and like a real game, not a weird, like 12 to 11 game, like an actual baseball game.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was great to watch. And we were in control the whole time. And that's the feel that the first month or so of the season had for the Cubs. There was so much control of the game of baseball, and they've got it. They've got a lot of fun and a lot of control going on right now.
Yep. That's all for us. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, follow. You can find us on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. Visit us online, www.club120show.com. That's all for us. Go Cubs, go.
Go Cubs, go.
This has been Club 120. Neil and Nate have practically spent their entire lives doing something centered around baseball. And with these guys, you're going to get quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and, yes, heated debates. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. And, of course, the website at www.club120show.com. Until next time, go Cubs, go!